Welcome to English Listening Practice. Today's story, Master Your Day with Simple Goals. This story has 55 parts. Listen carefully and enjoy the story. Have you ever reached the end of a long day, felt completely exhausted, but then wondered what you actually achieved? It is a terrible feeling, isn't it? Welcome back to the podcast, where we help you improve your English while talking about everyday life. I am your host, and today we are talking about setting daily goals. We all have busy lives, and it is very easy to just wake up and start doing things without a clear plan. But being busy is not the same as being productive. If you don't set goals, you might spend your whole day reacting to other people's problems. You answer emails, you take phone calls, but you forget your own important tasks. That is exactly why setting daily goals can completely change your life. Let's look at how we can do this simply and effectively, without feeling stressed. The first thing we need to talk about is the size of your to-do list. When people decide to get organized, they often write down 20 different things. Have you ever done that? You write a massive list, and by lunchtime, you have only finished one thing. It makes you feel like you have failed before you even really started. Instead of doing that, I want you to try something called the Rule of 3. It is a very simple concept that has helped millions of people stay focused. The rule is easy. Every day, you only choose 3 main goals to focus on. Just 3 important things that you really want to finish before you go to sleep. You might be thinking, but I have so much more to do than just 3 things. Of course you do, and you will still do those other little daily tasks. However, your 3 main goals are your priority. If you only finished those 3 things, you can still say you had a highly successful day. Let's imagine a normal Tuesday. Your 3 goals might be finish a report for work, go to the gym for 30 minutes, and listen to an English podcast. If you complete those 3 tasks, you will feel great. Anything else you do, like doing the laundry or replying to extra emails, is just a bonus. This method stops you from feeling overwhelmed. When we have too many choices, our brains often freeze, and we end up doing nothing at all. By keeping your list short, you give yourself a clear path. You know exactly what needs your attention first, second, and third. Try it tomorrow. Pick up a pen and write down your top 3 tasks. You will be surprised by how much more relaxed you feel throughout the day. Now, let's move on to our second main point. It is not enough to just choose 3 goals. You also need to make sure they are specific. A very common mistake is writing down vague goals. A vague goal is something that is not clear or exact, like learn English or clean the house. If your goal is just learn English, how do you know when you finished it? You could study for 5 minutes or 5 hours, and it still feels unfinished. Instead, you need to break it down into a specific action. For example, change learn English to learn 10 new phrasal verbs and write a sentence for each. Now, you have a clear finish line. When you write those 10 sentences, you can cross the task off your list. Crossing things off is actually very satisfying. The same rule applies to housework. Don't write clean the house, because that is a huge job. It will probably take you all weekend to do that properly. A better daily goal would be clean the kitchen floor or organize my desk. These are small, realistic tasks that you can actually achieve in a short time. If you set unrealistic goals, you are just setting yourself up for disappointment. You have to be honest with yourself about how much time you actually have. If you work an 8-hour shift and commute for an hour, you cannot plan to study for 3 hours in the evening. You will be too tired. It is much better to plan 15 minutes of focused study and actually do it. Small, consistent steps are the secret to reaching any big goal in life. Think about a time when you wanted to start a new habit. Maybe running. If you had tried to run 10 kilometers on the first day, you probably would have given up. But if you had started with a 10-minute walk, you would have built a habit slowly. Daily goals work exactly the same way. Start small and build your confidence. So, remember to ask yourself, is this goal clear? And do I actually have the time to do it today? If the answer is yes, you are on the right track. Let's talk about some common mistakes people make when they try to organize their days. The biggest mistake is writing your goals in the morning. I know this sounds strange because they are daily goals, but if you wait until the morning to plan your day, you are often already behind. Mornings are usually chaotic. You might wake up late, spill your coffee, or get an urgent message from your boss. Suddenly, your planning time is gone. The best time to set your daily goals is actually the night before. Take 5 minutes before you go to bed to think about the next day. When you do this, you wake up with a purpose. You don't have to waste mental energy deciding what to do. You just look at your list and start. Another mistake is confusing your daily routines with your goals. Brushing your teeth, having a shower, and making breakfast are routines, not goals. Goals should be things that move you forward or require a bit of extra effort. Keep your routines separate so your goals stay meaningful and important. Finally, do not be too hard on yourself if things go wrong. Sometimes life just happens. You might get sick, or a friend might need your help urgently. If you don't finish your 3 goals, the world will not end. You haven't failed. You just had a busy day. Simply move those tasks to the next day. Flexibility is a very important part of planning. If you are too strict with yourself, you will start to hate your to-do list, and you will eventually stop using it. Let's look at some real-world scenarios to see how you can use this advice today. Imagine you have a big project at work that is due next week. If you just look at the whole project, you will feel stressed. But if you break it down, your daily goal could be write the introduction for the report. That is one clear, specific task. You can sit down, focus on just the introduction, and when it is done, you will feel a great sense of progress. What about your personal life? Maybe your bedroom is a mess, and you have been avoiding cleaning it for weeks. The thought of cleaning the whole room is terrible. So, you set a daily goal. Put all the clean clothes in the wardrobe. That is it. You don't have to vacuum, and you don't have to dust the shelves. Just putting the clothes away will make the room look much better. And often, once you start a small task, you find the motivation to do a little bit more. Let's apply this to your English learning journey. You are listening to this podcast right now, which is a fantastic step. But how can you make it a specific goal? Your daily goal could be listen to one podcast episode and write down 3 new words I hear. That is a perfect, realistic goal for an intermediate learner. You can easily do this while you're driving to work or washing the dishes. It fits into your life without causing any extra stress or taking up too much time. By doing this every day, you are building a strong habit. Over a month, those 3 new words a day will become 90 new words in your vocabulary. We are coming to the end of today's episode, so let's do a quick recap. We talked about using the rule of 3 to avoid feeling overwhelmed. We also discussed making your goals specific and realistic. And remember, the best time to write your list is the night before, so you wake up ready to go. Here is some useful vocabulary we used today. First, to cross something off. This means to draw a line through a task on your list when it is finished. Next, to break something down. This means to take a big, difficult task and divide it into smaller, easier pieces. This is great for managing big projects. And finally, to fall behind. This means you are moving slower than you planned, or you're not finishing your work on time. Planning helps you avoid falling behind. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you feel inspired to write down your 3 goals for tomorrow. Keep practicing your English, and I will see you in the next episode. And that's the end of today's story. Master your day with simple goals. I hope you learned something new and enjoyed listening. Keep practicing every day. Your English is getting better and better. Follow this channel for more English listening practice. See you next time.